Hey everyone, today I'm revealing 3 shocking reasons why some of the students are forced out of the UK a bit early. And I have seen it happens to my friends, my classmates and countless others on the way. And it is not your typical visa problems or homesickness or struggling to adjust in the culture. These are unexpected challenges or mistakes that even a confident, capable students can fall into. Mistakes that leads you to cut your journey short, waste thousands of pounds on tuition and living, and sometimes prevent you from even making the most out of your student or graduate visa. So let's jump straight into the reason number 1. Almost all of the people who come on student visa are generally focused on, living expenses, getting a part-time job, applying for graduate visa, and finding a job to stay in the UK permanently. But I've seen myself that most of the students underestimate that you have to actually study in the UK. Thinking about your course and your academic workload is not usually discussed around all of these student visa topics. But studying in the UK can be completely different from what you are used to in your home country. In the UK, your course will be divided into a lot of assignments which you have to complete over the semesters. It can be group presentations, reports, essay, simulation softwares, and in the end, your dissertation. Now for some students, I have seen it myself in my undergrad and in my masters that it becomes too overwhelming for them and they usually end up failing in one or more subjects. Now you are allowed to give resits, and if you pass then it's a very good thing, but for some students they're not even able to grasp the understanding of doing an assignment. You might be very good at studies and you might have done really well in your last degree, but if you are a bit overconfident and you're not willing to learn and adapt to a UK academic life, it will be very difficult for you. Because I personally know at least 5 people who are not able to pass during their university years, and if you don't pass your university then you will not be able to apply for graduate visa. So you lived in a country, you pay thousands of pounds in tuition fees, your living expense for that year, you might have earned some money back by working part-time, but it will be a huge loss for you if you're not able to pass. Now I have made a video about how a UK's master course is structured, so the link will be in the description and it will come on the I button here as well. So if you're interested in that, definitely go and check it out. Now let's move on to the second reason. Now there will be many students who go to the UK and their whole tuition fees is paid, their accommodation is paid for the year, and they have some living expense either by loan or from their parents. Now ideally what you should be doing in this scenario is, when you go to the UK, take some time to adjust, but then start looking for some part-time job. Focus on your studies for sure, but also look at some work to build up work ethics and also to be independent from the money your parents are providing. However, I have seen a lot of people who fall into this laziness. I don't even know what to call it, but they get too comfortable with their life. It can definitely be to many reasons apart from laziness, that they are missing home, they're lonely, they don't like the weather, they don't like the culture and all those stuff. But at the end of the day, if they don't work part-time, what usually happens is that after they graduate, they are not able to sustain themselves. Now obviously if you have parents who will be able to support you, give you your rent and your living expense for the 2 years of post-study visa or 18 months if it happens in the future, then it's good. Like, you can live your life there in the UK till your visa is valid. But most of the parents will not do that. And if you don't build up your work ethics during that undergrad or masters, it gets very difficult even to find jobs, because then there will be a gap in your CV. If you go to the UK, you can show a bit of experience from India. But let's say I have been in the UK for last 1 or 1.5 years, and if I apply for part-time jobs after, let's say, my university, it does become a bit hard to get the job because I don't have any UK experience. But if you're working part-time, then obviously you can start working there full-time after your graduation till you find a job in your field, or you can still stay there, work till your graduate visa is there, because then you will at least get some amount of money back, and you'll also learn how to be independent and how to manage money and all those sort of stuff which comes up as you become an adult. However, if you fail to secure any employment after you have finished your university, typically after 6 months of your university, you'll get a rough idea if you'll get a job or not. But I have seen people who apply for graduate visa thinking that they haven't got the job for those last 6 months after finishing their masters, but they will get the job when they are on a graduate visa. But after some time, when they don't have a job and they have to pay their expenses, they have to pay their rent, it does become a bit unsustainable because their parents have stopped giving them the money and it forces them to leave the UK. Now moving on to the third mistake which a lot of students make is that they think when they'll go to the UK, they pay their partial fees upfront because you have to pay it for the cast letter and getting the visa and everything. But what they think that when we'll go to the UK, we'll work a lot, we will pay our tuition fees, we'll pay our living expense, we'll pay our rent and live happily ever after. But it does not work like that. If you are working full time, it is never gonna be enough for you to pay your rent, your living expense and your tuition fees. But also at the same time, it will force you to skip classes, skip your university and not learn anything. Now what I have seen a lot of people do in this scenario is they will work full time and they will kind of obviously earn a bit more from people who are only working 20 hours a week. So they will pay people outside the university to do their assignments. But it is absolutely not worth it because in my own class, I'm not even sure, I have done my masters in marketing from 2022 September till October 2023. And if you find anyone from there, you can ask them that a lot of people tried to submit their assignments which were not done by them and they had paid someone to do that, but they were caught. And when you are caught, you get academic misconduct and university have every right to expel you if they find that you have violated a lot of things. If it's a minor mistake, they do give you a second chance, you can resubmit your assignment. But again, if you don't go to your classes, you don't understand the UK study system and you have no idea what to do, so even in the second try, if you get your work done from the outside, you'll get caught, you will be expelled from university or you will fail and then you won't be able to apply for graduate visa. So all of this stuff, working there, paying your tuition fees, paying your living expense, it will all go to waste because you will be forced out of the UK without even being on a graduate visa where you could have actually worked full time. So these are the three things which people hardly talk about, but they are reality which I have seen myself. And you can ask a lot of people, if you know someone who is in the UK on a student visa, you can ask them like, do these things happen or not? And then you'll get your answer. So whatever your plans are, don't focus too much on just making money and just living there. You're there to study for that first year, so focus on your studies. And after you graduate, on your graduate visa, work full time, try to find a sponsored job. If you can't, you would have still lived in the UK for a couple of years and that will be a different experience you will have throughout your life. So that was all for the video. If you do have any stories to share, write them in the comment section. I'll read them all. And if you like this video, hit the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.